Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Bree. It has been a minute, y'all. It has been a minute, but I'm back. I was just waiting for our shows to come back on so I can recap. So, as you know, Potomac is back, and that is what I'm here to review. So, I missed you guys. I'm going to have some commentary. I'm going to tell you what I thought about this episode, and we're just going to do a little recap of what happened. So, of course, as you know, I'm here to discuss The Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 9, Episode 1, titled A Crash Course in Deflection. All right, y'all, let's get into it. So we start this episode off with the night of Karen's car accident. And so you guys know a few months back this year, she got into this really bad car accident and she was actually taken into custody and charged with the DUI. She actually had like a list of DUIs, but guys, I wasn't writing that down. So, of course, it's public knowledge, so you can see, what she actually was charged with. But basically, she got a DUI. So they do kind of a reenactment of it. So anyway, it skips over to a new scene and it shows that it's a month later, and we see Giselle and Ashley talking in the car. So Giselle is driving somewhere and she's talking to Ashley on her phone. So we learn that Giselle is going over to Karen's house. So her and Ashley are talking, and I think Giselle was like, "Yeah, I'm going to ask her some questions, but I just want to check on my friend." Guys, I'm paraphrasing this. And, I just want to see how she's doing, what's going on. So Giselle finally arrives at Karen's house to pick her up, and they're going to go to lunch. And Karen tells Giselle while they're in the car, she can't really talk about the accident, but during her downtime, she has taken time to reflect on things. So, of course, y'all know how Karen is. Karen is not okay. Like, Karen to me is a person that's really not going to tell her business like that. She's always been that way. I wouldn't call her secretive, but she just makes sure that she's only going to give you a little bit. She's not going to tell you the full story. To me, she's like more of a private person as opposed to the other ladies on the cast, but that's neither here nor there. So, anyway, they go out to eat at a restaurant and Giselle says to Karen that Karen's accident, shook her and she just doesn't do stupid stuff like that. So what happened? Because, girl, I saw all those citations and I want to know what's up. And she also says, Karen, this isn't the person I know. So something clearly is going on with you. Now, Giselle, I get you being concerned, about your friend, but just in my opinion, guys, y'all let me know down below what you thought about this scene. The way that she was coming at Karen, it was like she was talking like down to her as if she was her mom instead of the way I guess like a friend would communicate. I don't know. I guess something like, hey girl, I just been concerned about you. Is everything all right? Thank God you're alive, but is there something that's causing you to maybe, drink a little bit or something? But it wasn't, that's not how Giselle to me came off. It was kind of like kind of chastising her, like, girl, you know better than this. You don't do stupid stuff. Girl, what is wrong with you? It was kind of like that. So anyway, Karen is just looking at her like, I told you it was a legitimate mistake. Because I'm just picturing Karen in my mind. Karen's just looking at her like, girl, I'm not in the mood to talk about this. So Karen lets her know that it's a legal matter and she can't wait until the truth comes out. And she says that she and Ray have been going through a lot. She's having marital issues and she really needs Ray to be emotionally there for her. And she says that everything that she's been going through has contributed to her accident. Like her losing her parents, her marital issues. And I guess it all came down to a head for her and she just was wilding out. Now, my thing is this, Karen. I want Karen to take responsibility for her actions and just say, look, I was just having an off night. I drank too much. I had no business driving. And unfortunately, I got into this accident. Thank God I didn't hurt myself or anybody on the road. She should have owned that. But And I'm pretty sure like when you're going through stuff, things can kind of make you react or do certain actions that you wouldn't normally do. However, you do have to take accountability and responsibility about that, because even though you have a certain circumstance, you're still in control of your actions. And I'm preaching to myself as well. So yeah. But anyway, we just gonna skip right on along. So, as you know, they're talking at the restaurant. Giselle says that she kind of wants to have a birthday lunch for her because Karen's birthday is coming up. And so, Karen asked her, can I bring some friends? And, I have this friend named Stacy. And so Giselle's like, yeah, girl, like you can bring her. I think that's what she said. So they're at the table and they just start talking about Mia and how she's with this new man of hers. Now, I don't know what we talking about new man when you still married. Like how you having a whole man and you're married. Absolutely not. Not me. Certainly not I. And this adultery mess is just out of control. And it's so funny to me how society thinks that it's okay for you to be committing adultery, cheating on your husband. I don't care if you're separated or not, it's still wrong. And I was like, but you know what? Let me not get on that tangent. But anyway, they start talking about that and how Mia's just gallivanting in these streets with this dude. So we jump on over to a new scene and we see it's with Mia and she's with her family, her husband G and her two kids, and they're out getting ice cream. So she lets us know that Gordon and her are separated and recently he moved into her building. So they're no longer living together, but they are living in like I guess the same apartment building with each other. So her and G start talking. They're sitting down watching the kids play. And she says to him, like, I feel like I gave everything to our marriage. And so G is like, well, I do believe you did give, a lot of effort to our marriage. However, I disagree because you didn't go to the last step, which is to separate and not go with somebody else. so so G clocked her right with that. And I was like, Lord have mercy. But this is my thing, right? G, what did you think was going to happen? Did you forget that you had an affair with Mia on your last wife? Like, did you not know that you were going to reap what you sow? And now all of a sudden you mad because your wife is now with another man doing the same thing that you did to your prior wife. So you have no room to even talk. How y'all started out was wrong. But anyway, I digress. So, Mia says to him, she's like, well, gee, I didn't just run into someone's arm. And so then G says, that he no longer wants their son, Jeremiah, getting a haircut with her new man named Ink. And Mia starts talking about how Ink now wants a paternity test. So G is like, I don't want no paternity test because I already know that Jeremiah is mine. And so my thing is this, y'all, didn't she say, like when we first met her, when she came onto Potomac, that in order for them to have conceived their son, it was through IUI? So I'm a little bit confused. Now, all of a sudden, this year, we coming up with this storyline about who the daddy is. Y'all, I really kind of feel like this is a storyline. And Mia knows deep down inside that that is G's child. Like, she really needs to stop. So anyway, so Mia starts telling G, well, I don't want Jeremiah going through life not knowing who his father is. And G at that point just had it. He's like, look, like I'm not dealing with this. I know that's my kid. I don't want to talk about it. Like it is like just stop. Anyway, so next we see Ashley meeting with her attorney. She's at her attorney's office regarding her divorce that we know she's not getting anytime soon. Forever. I don't know. I'm just speculating. So Ashley tells her lawyer that, she has been dragging her feet for the last 2 years, but now she's ready to proceed with her divorce. And she says that because she's been going out on dates and you still married, but y'all know how I feel about that. And she basically wants to move on. Now, guys, I'm not even getting long into this scene because my thing is with these producers, you're allowing Ashley to continuously sit on this show and not give us anything but this storyline about how she is now proceeding with her divorce. You've been proceeding with that for 2 years, and now all of a sudden you want to be going to your attorney about starting the process of it. I just don't even believe that.
Play with your mama, not me. And that song, who? This song, Mary Had a Little Lamb. I'm tired.
I really don't. I feel like she's only doing this to stay on the show. And I feel like in order for her to keep her job, she feels like she has to. But we'll wait to see. We'll wait and see. I'm sorry. So, anyway, moving right along. In a new scene, we see Wendy's at home with her husband. And we learn that she is getting ready to resign from her position as a professor at her university. And she says it's really mostly because she wants to spend more time with her family. You know, her kids are growing up and she wants to be there for them. And also, too, she just does not feel fulfilled in her role. And so they do kind of like a flashback to, I think, 2020, where she was even talking to her mom about it. Like, I don't know if I want to be a professor anymore. It's just, I don't feel that for it anymore. So, of course, she's been kind of pondering this for a long time. So we see her talking to Eddie, and they're talking about it in their office. And she actually starts writing her resignation letter to her boss. And it's like official. She's really about to resign from her position. So she does let us know, the viewers, that she's a little bit fearful about what her mom will do once she finds out she's resigned. Because as if you guys know, a few years ago, her mother was not having it. It's like, Wendy, you are a doctor, you know, you know how we are in our culture, and for you to just want to do something else that's completely left, like that's not the wave, girl. So she's a little bit like, yeah, I don't know how mom is going to take it. Anyway, so next we see Karen at a dress shop, and she's actually there visiting her friend Vivian. So Vivian is a business owner. She owns a clothing boutique, and Karen stopped by to see her. So when they're there, they're talking, they're catching up, and one of their other friends, Stacy, she comes by the store and they meet. So we learn that Stacy used to live in Philly and she used to work at QVC. And also too, Vivian introduced Stacy to Karen. So that's kind of like how they all met. So they're talking, catching up, like, girl, what's going on? And then Stacey's like, I'm here to find a dress. So, of course, I'm going to come to my girl's store. And y'all, I'm paraphrasing when I'm saying this stuff. And so, I just want to see what kind of dresses she has. So at this point, Stacy starts trying on some dresses and she goes into the dressing room. So Karen turns to Vivian. She's like, I'm noticing she's not wearing her wedding ring. And like, do you know what's going on? So Vivian's like, girl, I don't know. So Stacy comes out of the dressing room and immediately Karen's like, where's your wedding ring? I think Vivian asked too. So you can tell Stacy doesn't really want to talk about it. And I understand, because that's very private. And especially if I haven't shared that with you, I don't know why you asked me. But anyway, so Stacy tells them that she's been separated for a year from her husband and she's currently going through a divorce. And we've learned that her and her husband, they actually met on an airplane while they were flying, and that they've been married for 16 years and they do have one daughter together. So, that was sad. You could tell that's kind of difficult for her. It's not something she's rejoicing over, as no one really should rejoice over a marriage ending. But I could tell she didn't really want to talk about it on camera. But I mean, it is what it is. You are on the show, so you're going to have to talk about your life. So, anyway, so in a new scene, it's the day of Giselle's party. So remember, I told y'all she was gonna do this little birthday party for Karen, but it's also called a Hatitude party. Don't even ask. So so anyway, we see her at the event space making sure the party is set up, and she's invited everybody to come. And we see Jacqueline, who's Mia's friend, who I'm sure y'all all know from, last season and a few seasons before then. So Jacqueline was invited and she comes. And then Mia shows up and she brings a friend named Jazzy. So we learn about the new friend of Mia, and she is dating somebody who's an NFL football player. And I'm pretty sure we're going to learn more about her life. She's probably going to be a friend of the show, but that's kind of what we know already. And something about how she just moved back to the area recently. So it's something like that. So anyway, everybody starts arriving, and Jacqueline reveals that, and this was before Karen actually arrived with her friends. So Jacqueline reveals that she recently talked to Karen on the phone, and she sounded a little tipsy. And so I forgot how they even got on that topic because they were talking about Karen. But my thing is this, Jacqueline, even if she did, why would you even reveal that to anybody? That's going to make things worse. It's going to make them look at her a different way even more because it's like, girl, you just got in this accident and you're still drinking. What is going on? And I just thought you should have kept that to yourself. But I guess they trying to stay on the show, child. Anyway. So finally, Karen arrives and she brings Vivian and Stacy, and they all sit down. They're conversing, and so Giselle tells Karen that the group has some questions for her. So Karen is like, "Lord, let me get ready because I already know they're going to bring up the DUI, and I'm gonna just have to set some people straight today." So Karen starts going on a tangent and she says, look, whoever is my real friend, I need you guys to step up to the plate and announce yourselves because I don't want anyone fake around me. So everybody's just looking at her like, okay. So they're like, okay, Karen, yes. Because Karen, you could tell she was just not in the mood and she was ready for anybody to clap back at her. So all of a sudden, Mia starts talking about ink, and Jacqueline says that she believes ink is good for Mia, and that when she was with G, her and G kind of just had more of a business partnership. And I'm trying to think, y'all, because I thought Jacqueline and Mia were cool again, but it kind of seemed just with the body language that they're not as close as they used to be. And I could tell that Mia was a little taken aback when Jacqueline said that about her having a business relationship with G. I don't know. That's how I took it. So this is the scene that's very interesting to me. So Karen says to Mia that G Gordon let it be known that their children saw her in bed with another man. And Karen is like, why would you have your babies plastered all over the news? And because you doing that, like that really bothered me, especially as a mom. Like, why would you're subjecting your kids to all this scrutiny? And it's like, for what? So Mia says, well, it was not me that even said that. She's like, first of all, their father plastered them. And you're trying to say that it's my fault. And so then Giselle gets into it and she says, well, like Mia, you didn't protect your kids at all costs because if you did, you wouldn't have mixed ink with Gordon. So Mia's like, first of all, there was no mix. Like we were already separated and I had already filed for the separation. And then Mia says, like, I can't even control anyone and I don't need to stay in a marriage that's abusive. So Karen's like, girl, no one is saying that. So basically, Giselle and Karen start harping on Mia about her situation with her committing adultery, being married, while having a boyfriend, and your kids are in the middle of this mess that is public. So Mia starts crying and she says, my kids are good and it's messed up that y'all are even saying this to me. So she gets up from the table, she starts crying, and she goes into the bathroom. So I think Jacqueline followed her to the bathroom, and I believe somebody else did. Like, I think was it Wendy? Somebody checked on her, and that's pretty much where that got left off. And scene. All right, y'all. That's the end of episode 1 for the new season. I'm gonna give this episode, I'm gonna give it a 7. I see people going around saying, like, oh, it was such a lighthearted, like a good season opener. I'll just say, in my opinion, and y'all know I ain't for the toxicity. I couldn't stand the last few seasons of Potomac. It was just too much. However, I don't think it was strong like I see other people saying online, but that's just my opinion. I definitely was lighthearted, so that's good. It's not a bunch of chaos and drama. You could definitely tell that Giselle's trying to be on her best behavior this season because she already knows if she acts up this season and does not make up with people, especially Wendy, she already knows she's getting fired. And I think they had a good talking to her um, last season, especially around reunion time. Like you going off and doing the mean things you were doing, that's going to stop because you got to go. And I think her losing Robin was kind of an eye opener to her. So I could kind of see her really like trying to be on her best behavior. Um, what I'm seeing with Mia, I don't like this. Like her trying to use this for a storyline is not right because it is going to affect your children. But I'm interested to see how this plays because we learned that Ink is actually going to be on the show with her. So we'll see how this goes. Wendy, I'm very interested to see her storyline and how she transitioned from her position as a professor. And also, too, as you guys I'm sure know, her and Giselle make up. I don't know how real that is. I just feel like Giselle might be just doing that because she knows she needs to do that in order to stay on the show. But we'll see what's going on with that. And Karen, I need you to take responsibility and accountability and say, I messed up, guys, but these are the things I'm doing in place to better myself instead of like blaming it always on something. Yes, we're going through hard times and it may make us lash out and do stuff, but also, too, you really need to take responsibility. I'm interested to see about the new person, Stacy. As we see in upcoming scenes, I think her and Karen get into it. Also, too, Kiana is coming back, but she just wasn't in this episode. But she's coming back. And did I miss anybody else, y'all? But anyway, I'm just interested to see how this plays out. Y'all tell me what y'all think down below. But thank you so much for tuning in to another one of my episode recaps. Please subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you can be informed whenever I upload a new video. Also, too, comment down below. Tell me your thoughts on this week's episode. And as always, before you go, I'd love to say a prayer for you. And so here it goes. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face shine on you and be gracious to you. May the Lord give you his peace, protection, and favor. This is my prayer over your life. In Jesus' name, amen. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you in my next recap. And yeah, bye.